How's it going, guys? Chisato here, bringing you the next monoband deck profile, and today we're going to be looking at Pastel Palettes. I was planning on recording this video earlier in the week, but unfortunately I've had a painful sore on the inside of my mouth for basically the entire week, and I haven't been able to really record. But anyways, hope you all had a good Thanksgiving if you're in the US, and let's get into the video. So today's deck is Pastel Palettes, which focuses on having all 4 colors on the board in order to gain access to extra power, extra abilities, or buffs on their abilities. Since the deck needs to have all 4 colors on the board as often as possible, this means that the deck will be using a field-based strategy, having high power characters that are difficult to remove. However, this also means that Pastel is highly susceptible to hard removal effects such as bounce, or any suiciders that can remove your character from the stage mid-attack phase, such as bottom deck suiciders or clock suiciders. Having all 4 colors might sound challenging, but 2 of the 4 colors are typically designated as back row colors, and you would put level 0 characters in those slots, so you don't really need to worry about having color for those cards. The colors that have been designated as back row or front row colors have changed with each release, except for red, which has always been a front row color. In Girls Band Party 1, the front row colors were red and blue, featuring cards like the Chisato level 1s, and level 3 Aya and Hina. And back row cards were yellow and green, with the Eve Brainstorm and Maya support. Going into Special Set and the Pastel Trial deck, blue was swapped to the back row with Chisato level 1 instead of Maya, and green was swapped to the front row with 3-2 Eve from Special Set and 3-2 Aya from the Trial deck. The Trial deck also saw the addition of a powerful new level 3 red character in Chisato. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the most recent iteration of Pastel Palettes, which uses red and yellow in the front row with cards like Aya Clock Swap, Maya level 2 combo, and Chisato Fever in the front. In the back row, since yellow has been moved to the front row, we use the new Chisato Brainstorm for blue, instead of the Eve Brainstorm we used previously. This means that our last slot is green, and in today's deck we will be using the Maya support from Girls Band Party 1. Quick disclaimer before we get into the list, this deck runs 2 JP exclusive cards, but they can be substituted fairly easily. I'll talk more about that towards the end of the video. Now let's get into the list. I run 18 level 0s, 10 level 1s, 6 level 2s, and 8 level 3s. The color ratio is 23 red, 16 yellow, 5 blue, and 6 green. As I mentioned earlier, we don't need high counts of our back row colors, blue and green, because once we get a Chisato Brainstorm and Maya support, we're basically going to leave them there for the rest of the game. Therefore, most of the deck space is allocated towards red and yellow cards. The first level 0 is our designated turn 1 play, the Aya Mill Runner. Having a runner in your opening hand is pretty important, as many of the other level 0s in our lineup are not cards that we want to be playing turn 1. Additionally, if your runner survives into your level 1 game, it can potentially serve as your red to get all 4 colors. The next 0 is this yellow Aya Searcher. On play, you can clock a card from hand to search your deck for any Pastel character. This is a crucial early game piece to grab cards that you're missing, and can also serve as yellow for a 4 color board at level 0, consisting of Aya Runner, this Aya Searcher, and your 2 back row. Next, in the level 0 is our back row utility, starting with the Chisato Brainstorm. On play, you can look at the top card of your deck and either place it on top or on the bottom of your deck. Her Brainstorm ability is rest 2 characters, and Brainstorm X, where X equals the number of colors on your stage plus 1, which means if you have all 4 colors on stage, you can get a maximum of Brainstorm 5. For each climax you hit with the Brainstorm, you get to salvage 1 character. I recommend not playing the Chisato until the turn that you intend to use her Brainstorm ability. This allows you to use her top check ability and essentially get a Brainstorm 6 instead of Brainstorm 5, because you can take a non-climax from the top of your deck and put it on the bottom. Our green back row is the Maya support. If you have all 4 colors on stage, she gives 1k power to characters in front of her, which is huge for a level 0 support. At the start of your main phase, you can swap the bottom card of your clock with a Pastel character from your waiting room, allowing you to color fix or swap in a card that you want to grab out of your clock using 1-0 Aya, which we'll get to in a bit. The last level 0 is the recently added Aya PR Drop Salvage. She has the exact same abilities as Saya Drop Salvage from the original BanG Dream set, but she can now be played in a mono Pastel deck, giving a nice boost to the deck's consistency. She's also red, which means that she can potentially serve as red on your level 1 turn, while simultaneously using her drop salvage effect to grab pieces for your climax combo. Next, we have our level 1 combo, which is a climax combo change to a level 2. I'll talk about both cards before moving on to the other level 1s. First, we have the 1-0 Maya. When you play the Gate Climax, she can send herself to Waiting Room in order to play the 2-1 Maya combo from your hand. On play, draw 1 and discard 1, allowing you to dig for the 2-1 Maya or the Gate Climax, or simply to get unneeded cards out of your hand, such as extra climaxes. The 2-1 Maya is a 7.5k base, going up to 9k if you have all 4 colors on stage. Her climax combo uses the same gate as the level 1 Maya, allowing you to change from the 1-0 and then use climax combo immediately afterwards. Her combo is on reverse, look at up to 4 cards from the top of your deck, choose up to 2 Pastel Palettes characters from among them, add them to hand and send the rest to Waiting Room. Then give one of your characters 1000 power until the end of the turn. Your goal at level 1 should be to play 2 of these Mayas, with your third front row slot being a red character to satisfy the condition of having all 4 colors. If you're able to put both Mayas in front of the level 0 Maya back row, they'll be at a constant 10k power, which is extremely hard to get over at level 1. Another neat trick you can do with these Mayas is using the 1-0s to rest for Chisato Brainstorm. Since they're going to get sent to Waiting Room and replaced with the 2-1 Mayas anyway, you can get some extra value out of them. This allows you to brainstorm twice in the same turn, once by resting your back row characters, and once by resting 2 Mayas. The next level 1s are going to be our red slots. I run 2 of this Chisato 1-0 from Girls Band Party 1. She has 5500 base power, and when you have all 4 colors on stage, she goes up to 7k power. Her other ability is Demerit, but considering this is a field-based deck and your goal is to win on the board, you would have to be having a pretty awful game in order for this Demerit to actually come into play. A consideration that you can make in terms of your board state is putting the Maya support behind this Chisato and one of your Mayas, instead of putting it behind both Mayas. This puts the Chisato level 1 at 8k power on defense, and if your opponent isn't able to get over 8k, but they are able to get over 7k, then this might be a consideration for how you arrange your board, so that they cannot kill anything on your field. The other level 1 red is this 1-0 Aya. She sits at 4k base, but goes up to 7k during your turn if you have all 4 colors on stage. While this isn't as good as Chisato's constant 7k power, being able to get over your opponent's board on offense is better than nothing, as it allows you to retain your red on the board going into the opponent's turn, which can make the difference between your Mayas being 10k defensively or just 7500. Aya's other ability is a big reason why we include her in the deck though. On play, you can discard 1 card to grab any music character from Clock and add it to hand, then clock the top card of your deck. You can combo this with 0-0 Maya support, since she lets you swap the bottom card of your clock with any Pastel character from Waiting Room at the start of main phase. This essentially gives you access to your entire Waiting Room, as long as you have a card in Clock to swap out. Lastly, I run 2 copies of this 1-1 Aya counter. She's a 2k counter, and if you have all 4 colors on stage, she lets you refund the stock cost by putting a character from Waiting Room into stock. This essentially equates her to a 1-0 counter, but the stock that you put is always going to be clean stock. So if you use the counter to pay out a climax and then replace it with something clean, then you can easily build a foundation of clean stock for later in the game. Moving on to level 2s, we've already gone over the 2-1 Maya combo, so we'll move on to the next card, this 2-1 Maya support. This is the only blue card in the deck that isn't a level 0, so you can use 0-0 Maya's effect to swap a blue card into your clock at the start of main phase, thus allowing you to play this. She gives global level support to all of your other music characters as long as you have all 4 colors on stage. And on play, she takes a card from your Waiting Room and puts it underneath her face up as a marker, and she gains the color of the card that she has as a marker underneath her. Typically, she will be replacing your 0-0 Maya support, so you will want to be getting green as your marker. This can easily be accomplished by simply playing this card over the 0-0 Maya. Next, we have the Chisato free refresh counter. She has a 2500 backup for 1 stock, and if you have all 4 colors on stage, you can free fresh for 1 additional stock. This deck doesn't have a ton of milling options due to the Brainstorm having a rest 2 cost, and the 2-1 Maya typically can't reliably combo multiple turns in a row due to the opponent usually crashing their board into yours. So having the option to grab this Chisato as a get out of jail free card is nice to have if you end up being out a bunch of climaxes early into your deck rotation. Next, we have the level 3s. Our main level 3 of the deck is 3-2 Chisato. She has 9500 base power, but goes up to 11k if you have all 4 colors. She heals on play, and also has a Fever combo on a win climax. At the start of the Encore step, if you fulfill the Fever condition and have the win climax in play, you can pay 2 to burn 3, and then rest one of your other characters. Our other level 3s will help to boost our character's power or ensure reverses so that we can successfully use Chisato's Fever combo. The next level 3 is the TD Chisato. She sits at 10k base and gives all of our characters 1500 power, including herself, as long as she's in the front row. This brings herself up to 11.5k and the Chisato level 3 Fever up to 12.5k, assuming we have all 4 colors. Add a Maya level support into the mix and those numbers can go up even higher. Chisato also has an on-reverse ability. During either player's turn, if she reverses her opponent, you can pay 1 and discard 1 to burn 1. The last level 3 is a 1 of Aya. She sits at a low 8k power, but she's also a level 3 Suicider, allowing us to guarantee that one of our opponent's lanes is getting reversed in order for our Fever to go off. In addition, she can be early played if you have 6 or more climaxes in your waiting room, although I pretty much never use this effect. And on play, she lets you look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck and add one of them to hand. This is obviously helpful to dig for the win climax if you don't already have it. Going back to the Chisato Fever real quick, her Fever ability lets you rest one of your other characters, so you can use this to rest the 3-2 Aya that you have reversed for her Suicider ability, and if the level 3 game gets extended for another turn, your opponent will have to get one of their characters reversed by the Aya Suicider, making it easier for you to do another Fever on the follow-up turn, because your opponent is going to have one open lane. So since the level 0 Aya PR is JP exclusive, as a replacement for English, I would recommend swapping it for the 0-0 Hina. She's overall slower and gives less selectivity in comparison to the Aya, but in my opinion, this is overall the next best option. Hope you guys enjoyed the Pastel Palettes deck profile. With Kara Expo only a week or so away, I'm going to try to get these last couple vids out ASAP. Thanks for watching everyone, this has been Shizakats, and I'll see you next time. Bye!